Hey everybody, welcome to day 11 of our Simply Autumn Art series. We're going to just do this very simple and quick little sunflower tutorial today, and I hope you have fun. Let's get into it. I am starting off with a mixture of cadmium-free yellow and a little bit of yellow ochre in there, and just doing a very messy center of our flower. Now, a couple ways to do petals. I'll show you why I can't do what I'm about to show you. Some people just kind of push their brush down. I don't have the brush for that. So I prefer to do it how I'm going to show you on the second petal, which is I just draw in the basic shape and just fill it in. And so I'm going to just kind of plump this one up a little bit. I could have used a bigger brush, but I didn't feel that that was necessary. So just kind of draw in your basic petal shapes. And these first four, I'm calling them my north, south, east, west petals. And that's important for my brain later. You can do this however you would like. But I'm just doing these four first and just kind of filling that one in there. And then in between each of these, I'm going to do four more petals. And the reason this is like important to me later for my brain is that these 8 petals, when all is said and done, are all going to be the petals that are full petals. They're in the front. And then you'll see the next layer I do after these four, those petals will all be in the back or underneath these petals. But yeah, and it's all going to look a little bit messy to start off with. We're being very, very loose here because we're going to tighten things up at the end. It's going to start looking even messier right here. But see how I'm just placing these petals in the background. I'm not doing full petals. I'm just kind of letting them be behind the petals that we've already painted. And you could paint different colors right from the start. I am going to add some different colors, but you could paint different colors at the start to differentiate, but this is good enough for me. I just keep in mind my north, south, east, west petals and then go from there once we get everything done. But yeah, look how messy. It's not looking very pretty, and that's okay. Also, after I did this, I thought, I think I did a similar one to this last summer or fall, which I looked back and I did, but that's okay. You know, there's a lot of people here now that weren't here last summer, so hopefully this isn't too repetitive for anybody. While I'm finishing up these last two, I just have to tell you, I have some really exciting news coming up that I hope you'll join me for. Hopefully on October 1st, that is my goal. I've got a new fun art business that I'm starting, and I'm really excited about it. Okay, I have now got on my brush some orange. I mixed together cadmium-free red and cadmium-free yellow to make my orange, and I'm just dabbing it in. You can see, just kind of dabbing it in here and there, not being methodical at all. I'm just giving a little bit of variation of color, and it will be very slight. And now I've got some brown. I've got burnt umber on my brush. Just use whatever brown you've got. And I'm just going to paint in that center of our flower. And it can be dead center if that's what you want. It can be off center. We're not going for perfection. So I like to dab it in because then everything is still wet underneath. So it's just kind of spreading out. See how that works? And I've got that orange back on my brush. And so I'm going to add some more just variation with that. But yeah, back to my new art business. I'm so excited because this has been a goal of mine and it's really fun. I don't have a ton of products or anything like that. It's just a really fun creative project I've been working on that I hope you will love. And it's just a way that I'm going to be able to better connect with you and a way for you to receive some really cool art, if I do say so. And it's not the art that you see on my beginner channel here. It's more involved, and I've spent hours and hours and hours on one painting, so I can't wait to show it to you. Hopefully October 1st, I will keep you posted and hope you will join me then. Okay, I have got lamp black on my brush now, and I got way too much black and not enough water. So I'm kind of spreading it around, and then I'm going to clean my brush off and dab it on the paper towel and just kind of soak up some of that black. And that's not really doing much. So then I put more brown on my brush to just kind of lessen the contrast, just so it's not such a stark contrast between the black and the brown. Just letting it all blend together. I haven't dried anything, by the way, in any of these layers. So just working wet on wet here, which I love to do. Love the flow. And then I just cleaned my brush off again just to make that one petal a little bit longer. Now let everything completely dry, and it's way light. So if you don't like how light it is right now, you can do another layer of paint or more layers, however many you'd like. But I've got a micron size 8. I was holding it a little too tightly, so I decided to just take the cap off, and I'm going to hold it way up high so that I can let go of some of that control a little bit. And again, I'm starting with those north, south, east, west petals and making sure that they are full petals that you can see because they're going to be in the foreground. And then I'm just going to scribble a few lines for added texture and a little bit of depth, kind of those lines that we put towards the center, kind of like give it the indication that it's, sinking into that, gives it a little shape. And now just doing the same thing with those petals that we did in between those first 4 petals. Remember, this is meant to be playful and whimsical. I should show you actually this plate that I have on my dining room table that I wish I would have looked at before I just painted this sunflower because I love all the colors in this. So you can get really creative and a little more bold than I did with my colors here if you would like. I really like all of the different color variations here. But I do like to keep it simple on this channel, so that's what we're doing. And that really wasn't the plan. I would have probably added all those colors because it's still simple. You just add more colors. And just doing the same now on the back petals. And you can see with the pen details, I'm not trying to make those full petals. Again, I'm just tucking them in, making it look like they're tucked in behind those first 8 petals that we did. And I think she's looking pretty good. You can see too, I'm not trying to just precisely outline every petal. I'm leaving white space and it's all good. Whatever is comfortable for you. Because some people, that drives them crazy. If there's white space showing them, they'd have to go back and put more paint in, and that is totally fine too. You can always adjust everything I'm doing here to make it your own style. And once I get all my scratchy lines in there, I'm going to come in and do something that, again, is optional. I am just putting a bunch of little dots in the center to kind of mimic the seeds. Obviously, sunflower seeds are a little bigger than what I'm doing here, but it adds a lot of nice texture. I think definitely better able to see it in person, but speeding up that last bit because there's a lot of dots. And just kind of tweaking the little lines. Now, I'm just getting my swatch card to protect the next page in my sketchbook because I'm going to splatter. So first we're going to start with our yellow splatter. And sometimes you may have seen me put a little sticky note over the painting that I've done because I don't want splatter to get in the painting. But for this one, I did want splatter in the painting. I don't like those orange ones in the middle, but I fixed that here in a little bit. But I just think it's more playful. So I did yellow, then orange, and now I've got the brown on my brush. And I love it. Kind of wish I would have done a little bit more brown, to be honest. So those orange ones, I'm just cleaning off my brush and drying it on the paper towel, and then it just soaks them right up like a little sponge. And now I love it. Thanks for painting with me today. I hope your sunflower turned out bright and cheerful and that you had fun just making it your own. If you enjoyed this one, be sure to join me on Friday for day 12, and we'll see you then.